Is there sort of practical advice you can give to people on how to meditate or how to be mindful in this full way?
Yes, I would tell them to do at least three things. And I lucked into this. When I started meditation, I went down the street and there was a place that taught Vipassana meditation, Metta contemplation, and Tai Chi Chuan for flow induction. And you should have a meditative practice. You should find a contemplative practice, and you should find a moving mindfulness practice, especially one that is conducive to the flow state, and practice them in an integrated fashion.
Can you elaborate what those practices might look like? So,
Right, exactly.
Generally speaking,
meditative practice like Vipassana. And so, what's the primary thing I look through rather than look at? It's my sensations. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on my sensations rather than focusing on the world through my sensations. So I'm going to follow, for example, the sensations in this area of my abdomen, where my breathing is. So I can feel as my abdomen is expanding, I can feel those sensations, and then I can feel the sensations as it's contracting. Now, what will happen is my mind will leap back to try to look through and look at the world again. Right? I'll start thinking about, I need to do my laundry, or what was that noise? And so what do? I don't get involved with the content. I step back and label the process with an ing word, listening, imagining, planning. And then I return my attention to the breath. And I have to return my attention in the correct way. The part of your mind that jumps around, in the Buddhist tradition, this is called your monkey mind. It's like a monkey leaping from branches and chattering, right? If I was trying to train that monkey mind to stay, or as Jack Kornfield said, train a puppy dog, and stay puppy dog. And if it goes and I get really angry, and I bring it back and I'm yelling at it, I'm going to train it to fight and fear me.
Yeah.
But if I just indulge it, if I just feed its whims, oh, well, look, the puppy dog went there. Oh, now it's there. Yeah. The puppy dog never learns to stay. What do I need to do? I have to neither fight it nor feed it. I have to have this centered attitude. I have to befriend it. So you step back and look at your sensations. You step back and look at your distracting processes. You return your attention to the breath, and you do it with the right attitude. That's the core of a good meditative practice.
Okay, then what's a good contemplative practice?
A good contemplative practice is to try and Metta, it's actually apropos because we talked about that participatory knowing, the way you're situated in the world. So this is a long thing because there's different interpretations of Metta, and I go for what's called an existential interpretation over an emotional one. But so what I'm doing in Metta, right, is I'm trying to I'm trying to awaken in two ways. I'm trying to awaken to the fact that I am constantly assuming an identity and assigning an identity. So I'm looking at that. I'm trying to awaken to that. And then I'm trying to awake from the modal confusion that I can get into around that. And so I'm looking out onto the world and I'm trying to see you in a fundamentally different way than I have before.
Like you go to the gym and you do bicep curls.
Yeah, yes.
Is it possible to reduce it to those things? You don't need to speak to the specifics, but is there actual practice you can do, or is it really personal?
No, I teach people how to do the Metta practice. I also teach them how to do a Neoplatonic contemplative practice, how to do a Stoic one. Another one you can do is the view from above. This is classic Stoicism. I get you to imagine that you're in this room, and then imagine that you're floating above the room, then above Austin, then above Texas, then above the United States, then the earth. And you have to really imagine it. Don't just think it, but really imagine. And then what you notice is as you're pulling out to a wider and wider contemplation of reality, your sense of self and what you find relevant and important also changes. For all of these, there's a specific step-by-step methodology.
Oh, so like in that one, you could just literally imagine yourself floating farther and farther out.
But you have to go through the steps.
Yeah.
Because the stepping matters. Because if you just jump, it doesn't work.
Do you have any of the stuff online, by the way?
I do, because during COVID, I decided at the advice of a good friend, to do a daily course. I taught meditating with John Vervaeke. I did all the way through meditation, contemplation, even some of the movement practices. That's all there. It's all available. That was largely inspired by Buddhism and Taoism. And then I went into the Western tradition and went through things like Stoicism and Neoplatonism, cultivating wisdom with John Vervaeke. That's all there, all free.
On your website?
Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel. Yeah.
On your YouTube channel? Okay. That's exciting.